Hey, my name's Jake Nicholson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to tell you why buy-to-let is dead in 2026 and what you can do instead. You see, landlords have been hit very, very hard over the last few years. You've had the Renters' Rights Act that makes it really difficult to make your property portfolio actually make money. It also has the risk of getting large fines, 10,000, 40,000. And if you have a problem with your property, it can be very difficult to now get that property back in a timely and affordable manner. You've also got Section 24 tax, which means that landlords that own property in their personal name, they're going to struggle to make any profit because the tax can be as high as 47%, meaning it's not very attractive at all. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what you should consider doing instead and one area where buy-to-let can still work. So before we jump into this, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do make sure you subscribe to my channel over there and hit that bell notification. We've just hit over 50,000 subscribers, and by subscribing, you'll get all the latest property news, house price news, interest rate news, property investing tips, and much, much more. And let's get some views on this video. Your part in that is simple. All you need to do is smash like, tickle like, do something to that like button. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and that really does help the channel grow. So thanks to everyone that takes a minute to do that. So buy-to-let, it's been easy for decades, let's be honest. You bought a property, house prices went through the roof, and rents made you some side income as well. But things got hard, obviously, when we got to 2008. And since then, we've got various governments in the UK that have just been clobbering landlords with lots of new legislation, meaning it's now more expensive to do buy-to-let. The returns aren't as great. House prices aren't going up at the rate they once did. And so now you need to look at other strategies in order to be able to make money in property. So I want to talk to you about a few different strategies that work in today's market so you can really get a grounding on what works in property in 2026. The first thing you should look at is auctions. Now, auction property is not for the faint-hearted. You need to be really understanding on exactly how the auction works because you are on a very tight deadline. Often, once you get that auction won, you've got to pay for that property within a month. What also happens is as soon as you take that auction bid and it's done and it's all sorted, they're going to take 10% out of your bank pretty much straight away or off a credit card straight away. So that means that 10% is already paid. Now, if you don't complete that auction transaction within that deadline, then that is a problem. But there are some very good deals in auctions. And right now, there isn't lots of landlords buying at the moment. So auction properties are actually going that even bit cheaper at the moment. What you've got to understand with auctions is that you don't have to have the cash to do this. You don't have to be a cash purchaser. You can be a cash purchaser in a different way, and that's by using something called a bridging loan. Now, we purchased a property. I launched this channel here to hold myself accountable, to make sure I knew what was going on in the market and grow a property portfolio for my two girls. I've already got my own property portfolio and I just want to make sure their life is a little bit easier. So I've got two daughters, one that's 5 called Amelie and one that's 25 called Georgia. And if you watch one of the older videos on this channel, you can see where I bought a property from auction. For Georgia, we bought a terrace house, a 2-bed terrace house in Doncaster. We won it for £60,000. All the fees, etc., came to around £6,000. And then we refurbed it for just under £10,000, meaning it cost us around £75,000 to do all that purchase. Now, we did buy that cash, but we could have bought that on a bridging loan. And you can speak to any mortgage broker to understand how that works. But auctions are a great strategy because we added value to that property. In only 3 months, we got the property revalued at more than £100,000, meaning we created £25,000 in equity pretty much straight away. And that was 25% at that time. So auctions are a good strategy. You need to have the knowledge and know-how on that. We include some auction training in the Property Accelerator. It's one of the toolboxes, tools that we think you should use at the moment. Next is serviced accommodation. Now, serviced accommodation is where we're talking about you get a property and you rent it out on Airbnb. Now, you've got to be careful, again, where you do this, because in London, you can only rent it out for 90 days on Airbnb. There's rules on that. So you've got to be careful where you pick. Also, you've got to make sure that you don't just pick a seaside town for argument's sake, because you might be really busy all summer making good money, and then the winter comes and you make nothing. So I would recommend that you look at towns and cities, excluding London. For argument's sake, here's a couple of scenarios. I've got two people that I've recently helped with service accommodation. One is in Dorking in Surrey. They have a terraced house that they have rented out as a buy-to-let for years, but with all the new tax rules and stuff like that, it was making them less money. So they've changed it to service accommodation. Now, in Dorking, there is not a lot of competition on Airbnb. There's 20 or 30 properties on there, but there's still people coming in for work all the time. There's people coming in for weddings. There's people coming in for parties and different reasons why they might move into the area. They might also have a property that's got some building work going on, and that he gets all sorts of different reasons why people book. However, by running it as service accommodation after all his bills and running it and getting systems and processes in that make sure there's cleaners in that property, he's making an additional £1,500 net profit per month. The profit before was around 500 quid, but then if there was any problems, it got expensive. So he's making around £2,000 profit per month. Another friend of mine lives in America. They are doing the same in Horsham, another town that's not massive. It's not known to be a tourist town either, but he runs it as a service accommodation. He comes over to the UK himself about 3 or 4 times a year. He's got grown-up children here. So he, rather than paying for hotels, he stays in his house that he's bought, and that gives him the ability to have rooms for his children and all be together rather than being in hotels where it's not very cozy and fun like that. But the rest of the time, that property is run as a service accommodation, and that's making around £1,200 profit per month as well. Now, service accommodation is important that you run with systems and processes. Otherwise, you're going to have this as a job. You don't want to be getting calls throughout the night. You want to make sure people can easily check in. You've got to systemize that business to be very good. But it works well when you pick these small little towns where not lots of people are going. If you pick somewhere like Brighton, for example, you're going to get tons of people doing it, thinking this is a great idea. Everyone goes to Brighton all the time, so it gets more competitive, prices go down, you make less profit. So service accommodation is a good strategy to do at the moment. Next is HMOs. Now, HMOs stands for House of Multiple Occupancy. You can do this in 2 ways. You can rent a property from a landlord, give them a guaranteed rent, and rent the rooms out on a room by room basis as an HMO. Now, you've got to be very compliant with HMOs. Councils hammer down hard on landlords that aren't compliant, that don't have fire doors, don't have all the regulations that you need, heat detectors, smoke alarms, all of this sort of stuff is important. So it's important to get the knowledge and know-how how to do it. But then the cash flow on an HMO, either on a property you own or a property that you rent, is really, really high. So it is vital with HMOs, like I said, that you know all the legislation. You pick towns, again, that aren't oversaturated with HMOs. I've got an HMO being built opposite my office at the moment. I know the builder who's working on that project very well. There's a landlord that does very well with HMOs in Dorking because it's not oversaturated. You look on Spare Room, there's not thousands of rooms that aren't being rented well. So HMOs, they're a good strategy. That does work in 2026. And so that could be a good one to look at. Next one's my favourite one. And this is BRRR. And that stands for buy, refurbish, refinance, rent. And that's what I did with the property up in Doncaster that I purchased for Georgia. Now, I bought it from auction. That's the buy. Bought it for £60,000. Then I refurbished it. That cost less than 15 grand. So my fees, the builder, and I got a lot done for that. I got plastering on the house, new kitchen, new bathroom, carpet, decorating. It came back looking really, really nice. You can see all of this on the channel. There's loads of videos where we're doing tours, updates on that property in the earlier videos on the channel. If you want to see a more recent one, I bought a studio flat in Dorking for £120,000. Spent about £6,000 doing it up. New kitchen, new bathroom, carpets, decorating. Like, it's not as expensive as you think to do this stuff. So I bought them, I refurbished them. Refinance means that I changed mortgage. I got a new mortgage on those properties. In Doncaster, I hadn't got any mortgage because I bought it with cash, or you could buy it with a bridging loan. Then I get a mortgage on that, which pays off that debt or gives me my cash back that I spent. And then we rent the properties. Now, we are renting those as buy-to-lets. So don't get confused here. What I'm saying is buy-to-let can work, but you need to create equity prior to that. You need to make sure that the house is worth more. You're buying at an affordable price. What I'm saying when I'm saying buy-to-let isn't working is I'm saying that you're not going to go to Croydon where they've built loads of tower blocks. So I went to Croydon this weekend to Box Park. And there's all these tower blocks being built everywhere. They're very expensive. They're overpriced. They go down in value. If you buy a new build property and then expect to rent that as a buy-to-let, that's when things don't work very well. So BRRR is a very good option. Good strategy. That's my favorite. That's made me the most money by a mile. Next is lease options. Now, lease options are where you can buy a property for just £1, which no one believes when you say you can do that. So right now is a good time to look at lease options because there are tons of landlords trying to get out of the market. Now, they can't sell their properties because there's not enough buyers on the back end to get that sorted. So what you can do is also find a landlord that's trying to sell that maybe is priced it a little high. Maybe they need to sell that property at £100,000, but that property is only worth £90,000 in today's market. That's where it would sell. But they need £100,000 because maybe they pay too much money for it. They've got other costs and stuff that they need. So they have to wait until it sells for £100,000. They need the market to move up. So you can go to that landlord and say, I will buy that property off you at £100,000. That's fine. But I can't afford to do it today. I need the market to recover. So we'll agree that I'll buy that property off you for £100,000, but with a delayed completion. So we're talking about buying that property today, controlling it, making a legal contract that controls that asset for £1. It's like when you see people buying football clubs for £1. This is how they're doing it. And then we will complete the transaction in 7 years, 5 years, whatever you agree. Needs to be enough time for the market to go up. Now, this is called a lease option. You're not compelled to buy. If suddenly the market crashed, you could go back to that landlord and say, look, I don't want to carry on with this. And you can give them the keys back and then that's their asset still and they would have to run it. But this works well because house prices generally do go up. And also, you can do work on the property. So you could buy a property for £1 that needs work, that you know you can add value to. They can't be bothered to do that. You add the value to it, you get the uplift. You've got to buy that property within 7 years. There's nothing to stop you if the value goes up significantly doing that within 1 year or 2 years. So lease options are a good strategy, particularly in this market where there's a ton of landlords struggling to sell. So that's another option. And the last one is a strategy called buy to let. Strange. The video is all about buy to let not working. Well, it does work, but not in the south. You're going to struggle to get buy-to-let, vanilla buy-to-let working in London, in the south, or in the southwest. It just about works in the Midlands, and it can work gangbusters up in the north. So buy-to-let can work. You've got to pick the right area. Don't go and buy new build properties. Buy properties that are affordably priced, where the rents are still good, and the north is the best place for that. Doncaster is a great area to consider as well when you're looking at that. So these are the strategies that are working in today's market, but you need to get educated and understand all of them. And all of these we teach you in the Property Accelerator. We go detailed on all of these strategies. Everyone else is selling these training courses for thousands of pounds. We've got a January sale on at the moment, and you can get all of these training courses for less than £200. One-time payment, less than £200. In fact, you can pay it monthly as well if payday you're waiting for or something like that. Go and check this out. You need the property toolbox. You need all of these strategies in order to be a successful investor. And now is a good time to buy. It is a buyer's market. You need to buy in a company, not in your personal name, to be more efficient with tax. But we cover all of that as well. So go and check out the Property Accelerator. You'll find it an absolute bargain. Hundreds have already taken that late last year. So go and join while you're here. Click on the link, click on the description, and give us a like on the way out, and check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.